Pretend that I am a executive director of a nonprofit. I've never touched any digital channels, no social. I have a website up, but I'm interested in getting more involved. What would you tell me? Where should I invest my resources, and how should I start?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm assuming you've been in a coma for 15 years in this scenario, right?
Let's
Yeah,
assume.
that's a tough one, but it's happening and it's real. Usually I like asking people, how do you like your information first? Because if you're going to start something, if you're really truly starting from ground zero, let's talk about you first. Let's get self-aware with how you like getting information. Is it in short form? Is it in long form? Is it in audio? Is it in video? And let's put that down on paper and figure out where it is. If we're going to jump in, let's jump in with something that you're comfortable with, and you put that on paper. And then I think you take the opportunity to look at and ask your audience. We don't survey our audiences enough. We don't ask them for information enough. We don't let them help dictate how they receive information enough. So one of the tricks that I started doing to help with segmentation and communication is when you have a donor card or when you have an opportunity to fill anything out at an event, just add in a couple more questions. How do you like to receive your information? Is it text? Is it email? Is it social? Do you like to be tagged on things? Do you like to be recognized with photos on things? Find out what your audience likes, and you'll normally find that you have a lot of similarities. But when it comes down to just starting out, I think you have to say, okay, this is what I like, and what I feel about communication might have a little bias. That's why I have people do this exercise. But when I hear from my audience, I find it's a little different. So if you're just going to start out, don't just start out with what you feel comfortable with. I think you need to start out with what your audience feels comfortable with. And I think when you do that exercise of you in one column and them in another column, you're going to learn something about communication. You're going to learn something about how it's evolved and what people are moving towards than maybe you might not have before. And that's why you haven't started before. It takes a while to figure out what your biases are. They don't call it unconscious bias for a reason. You don't think about it. And I think when you do this type of activity, you're really finding out what biases you have against communication and technology. And you're learning at the same time from your audience group and from your donor group that, okay, I need to do something that provides value to them and not just me. So I'm going to go do that. So jump in. If you're going to jump in at all, jump in where you know your audience is and just go on that journey with them. They're going to see how raw you are and how genuine you are. They're not going to look for how buttoned and sharp your posts are, or your links are, and your photos and stuff. They're going to understand that you're jumping in. They're going to appreciate the fact that you're trying to meet them in their space.